What is going on, everybody? As you can see, we've got a new background for those that are watching on YouTube. I am the Wool Man today, and we are on to episode 9. And boy, do we have a big show for you. So, we are joined again with my co-host, my moderator on Twitch. It is
You.
Lawson. Say
It
good
is
day.
indeed.
All
Hello,
right,
hello.
Mr. Passionate. That's what we like to call you, Mr.
Yep.
In-depth art house, the man, the myth, the legend.
Everything that you think I like is instantly art house.
It is everything. Everything is. Um, but we obviously it is October, so we're leading up to it is Halloween. I actually almost forgot the holiday, which is not a holiday here in Australia.
No,
So
but
it's
it's still a
it's
spooky season.
it's definitely gotten bigger in terms of
Mm,
its popularity. So like my kids are
definitely.
obviously keen as to go trick or treating, which was never
Yeah.
really a thing back when we were growing up. I'm not
See,
sure if it
I
was
grew
for
up
you.
in Alice Springs, and we had a big military base there, and a lot of American recruits came over to train. Or I don't really know what, but there was an entire American district, and Halloween went off there. They had the full decks at the front. They had like dry ice machines and all sorts of stuff going on.
Oof,
So I grew up with it.
that's pretty cool.
And then I moved to Whyalla and no one did it at all. And it was fun though. It was exciting. I used to love getting dressed up and walking the streets, and it was a lot of fun. Like
Yeah.
I'm not against it coming to Australia properly.
Okay. That's yeah, interesting. But that's not what we're here to talk about. But it was interesting.
Mm.
We have Smile, which obviously we spoke about last episode with its publicity stunt. Very, very cool
Yep.
in terms of the paid actors at the baseball games.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they situated themselves where the cameras would be pointing. And I'm probably going to butcher this name because I don't think I've ever said it right, even when we were talking about the film. Mr. Harrigan's phone.
Harrigan.
Harrigan.
Okay, I've said Harrington's phone so many times.
See, I got it wrong
Harrigan.
again. Harrigan.
Yeah.
Harrigan. It's
That's
kind of like,
fair.
yeah, whatever. He's got a phone, and that was a Netflix
It
original.
does.
Yeah, and then we are going for House of the Dragon episode
Mm-hmm.
8 and 9 because obviously we missed out last week due to our schedules not meeting up. But you
Doing
know,
one.
yeah, whatever. Without
Yeah.
further ado, let's get into our favorite segment, which has been good feedback. People are loving the
Yeah. Yeah.
yep, they're loving it. Starting out, obviously we need to refresh our rules because you always forget and I change them. So
Oh, I
that's
remember
fair.
now. I remember now. It's all good.
All right, cool. So this one, I am very excited because Bleach is now finally back in terms of its anime adaptation of
Okay.
its last arc of the Thousand Year War.
Okay.
But Disney are on a warpath. We all know that. We know the monopoly that they
Mm-hmm.
are. They
Mm-hmm.
have acquired the streaming rights to none other than another big, big anime, and it is
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Really?
Yep.
Just the
So,
streaming rights or
yep. The streaming rights in the West. They own
in the
all the
West?
streaming rights in the West.
No shit. So that's everything. That's Dragon
I
Ball
think it's only for the
Z,
I think it's for the new stuff.
the
Like
Super,
it's
all the Super coming out.
yep. So all the new stuff that's coming out, Disney are going to be doing it, and I'm
Okay.
currently up to date with the manga, and
Mm-hmm.
it's good, and there's a
Do they have
lot.
any production rights or is it just
Not
distribution?
just distribution, but they're going to
Okay. Okay.
get a lot to coming into the into the
Mm,
platform just for Dragon Ball Z. Like if they're going to
yeah.
keep getting it, obviously Funimation joined with Crunchyroll, and
Mm,
they took Anime Labs as well, which was
yep. Yep.
our Australian
All
one.
been
Which
one thing now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Anime Labs I actually had, and that was really good in
Mm-hmm.
terms of its overlay and its like friendliness.
UI. Yeah, I
Yeah,
liked it too.
and then
Yeah, I
Funimation.
watched My Hero on that, I think.
Yeah, My Hero was good. And
Mm,
then Funimation was clunky. Crunchyroll has always
didn't get around that at all.
just been Crunchyroll, and like I've been
Yeah.
a subscriber to them forever. It was
Mm-hmm.
like dirt cheap. It was like $4 a month or something for ages.
Yeah. And it was early streaming too. Like there was Crunchyroll sort of existed for us anyway in Australia before Netflix and all that stuff. It's
Yeah,
pretty exciting to watch all that
that
for
was
a cheap price.
yeah, and it was all all of the what is it subtitled stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I just thought that was
Yeah,
awesome.
that is interesting. I'm curious to see where that goes.
I mean,
It's
Disney.
just more Disney just buying the market. They'll own Hollywood soon.
Yeah, well, they own the rights to Bleach, and now they're gonna get Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
and that's massive. Imagine if
Mm.
they get One Piece and like all the Naruto's across.
Yeah.
It'd be insane. They
It,
own
it's
like
it's interesting that if it's just distribution, then it's not a big deal to me because this means they're just putting it on their platforms. But if any of them ever get the rights for actual creation, it's gonna be a whole different story.
yeah, but that's a stepping stone though. Like
Oh yeah,
they're
it is. It's just sort of them moving in.
yeah, which is
Hmm.
scary that they're going to own so much and just be
Of
like,
course they will.
yeah, it's
Won't be long, and they'll start buying up video game companies.
yeah,
It'll be yeah. Disney will own the market. They've already cornered it.
yeah,
Will
it's gonna
happen.
happen. All right.
Hmm.
Movie news. Creed 3, ready to go. It's coming out.
Don't care.
What? You never got
I've seen
into
none of the others. I know.
what?
I know. I've heard they're actually pretty decent. I've just never got around them.
What about like Rockies and that? Did you get into
Yeah, I've
those?
seen. I think maybe three Rockies.
Right.
But no, I haven't watched any of the Creeds.
Creed's
Was it was a thing in between? It was something before Creed as well, wasn't there? Another
yeah,
Rocky.
yeah, Rocky 4.
Oh, okay, well I didn't see that
Yeah.
either. That was just
Yeah.
called Rocky, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was it called Rocky Four?
I'm pretty sure it was like Rocky and then they had the
Mm.
numbers after it. But I think
Yep,
people
yep,
just
yep.
referred to it as Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
No, I didn't watch it.
Creed 3, get on them. They're good.
Yeah.
Twister is getting a sequel.
What?
You know the movie Twister?
The real shitty tornado film
Yeah,
from
the Storm Chasers.
yeah
Yeah.
from years ago, like mid 90s.
Yeah, it's getting a sequel.
What?
Yeah.
The movie was trash.
I mean,
It's getting a sequel or a revamp.
nah, it's a sequel. It's
Okay.
called Twisters.
Sure.
That's what it's
I
called.
mean, I'm interested. I'm hoping it's as crap as the first. The first is a funny viewing. It's bad, but it's like funny bad,
Yeah, but
like Gobstopper sort of thing. Had Philip Seymour Hoffman in it, and he's like a good actor.
yeah.
Was
The Blade Marvel series has paused production. I
okay.
liked,
Didn't know it started production.
yeah. Did you ever watch Blade with like Wesley Snipes?
Yes.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, I
good.
watched it a few times. It's one
Which
of my guilty pleasures, I guess.
which one? Because I really liked Blade Trinity with like the mashup with Ryan Reynolds, Jessica
Oh,
Bell, and
I did see that, but no, I'm talking OG Blade,
yeah,
late '90s Blade. Yeah, Wesley Snipes.
the first one was good. Second just went nuts in terms of over the top action with them
Mm.
like silvers and stuff. But
I felt like it was more self-aware. Like the first was trying to be good, and it was so bad that it was almost funny. Whereas I think the second was a little more self-aware and it wasn't as funny because of it. Like I enjoy the first because it's so bad. Before Spider-Man, there were some real dodgy superhero movies, and this falls into them.
was it? There was Shaft as well. Was
Yeah,
was
that's not a
was he?
superhero movie, but yeah.
I kind of feel like he was portrayed as a bit superhero.
Shaft. Well, yeah, he's definitely portrayed like a hero, but not necessarily super. But then yeah, we had like the Catwoman and obviously all the old Batman movies, like pre Sam Raimi Spider Man.
Yeah,
No one really knew how to do superheroes properly, and there are so many ridiculously bad ones. I didn't
yeah,
know there was a Blade series coming.
yeah, yeah. It's obviously
I'd be
not
interested.
not going to be Wesley Snipes,
Mm,
and
man's old.
yeah, he went to jail, for like tax evasion or something or other, like
Yeah,
something
there's a lot of weird history of Wesley Snipes.
something bizarre. But anyway, last movie news: Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are going in for Deadpool 3. So Hugh Jackman
Going
is
in
yeah. So Hugh Jackman is playing Wolverine in
Wolverine.
Deadpool 3. I think it's going to be his last outing as Wolverine though, which
Oh,
is
I was happy just to leave it at Logan. Logan was 5-star movie.
Yeah, but have you seen all the banter between Ryan Reynolds and also Hugh Jackman? Like they're pretty funny in terms of their back and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah, I get it, and I'm
So
I'm sure I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna love it because I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. But I don't know, it was great. Why we don't need to keep it's the same thing. Stop throwing old ideas at a new screen and calling it new cinema.
I don't
I know
know.
exactly what all the jokes are gonna be.
You reckon? I reckon
Yeah,
there's gonna be
I'm
a
still
lot
gonna
of
enjoy it, but
be a
I'm just
lot of healing, be lots of limbs being dismembered, and
yeah. I'm hoping to have like
they'll have a
a
fight.
scene where there's like a bit of that banter back and forth about like who got the better healing, and they have like a big brawl and cut off limbs, and
I'm,
really fun. And Hugh Jackman is a really fun person on screen.
I'm pretty sure Deadpool's got the far better healing ability. Like I don't think Wolverine can regrow limbs. Maybe he can heal like wounds, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have the comic knowledge for that.
no, neither do I. Neither
Yeah.
do I. I
Ah,
just anyway.
who knows?
I'm interested. I'm
Okay.
interested more in
Okay,
that
cool.
than probably the other ones.
All
Yeah,
right. Let's get into Smile. So everyone is smiling. So
smiling away.
the plot is after witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts
Mhm.
experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain. Rose must confront her troubled past in order to survive and escape her horrifying new reality. So
Sure.
this I found the first half of this film really cool. Like I really enjoyed it. I like their atmosphere and their portrayal of obviously the I guess the people possessed by
Mm-hmm.
the smiling demon, let's
Mm-hmm.
so to say. Like the people who were possessed, terrifying. Like their smiles for me, I was like, you look creepy as
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just standing there smiling. I thought it was at least a fresh idea, which unfortunately they bundled in the end, where the build
I
up
disagree
really,
completely. It
I
was fresh at all.
no, I thought
Mm.
no. So obviously our Dr. Rose, she's just dealing with patients, and she gets a
Mm-hmm.
it was a girl, wasn't it? Right at the start, it's been about a
Yeah.
week since I've seen it, so a few details are missing,
Yep. Yep.
but yeah,
Yeah. There
she's
was a woman at the start who came in, who was they kept saying, and this movie belts in that crazy people aren't crazy. Don't use that word. So they go sort of overtly with the word with everyone who's meant to be mean.
yeah.
This crazy person comes in and is saying that she's being chased by something, she's going to be killed by something, and everyone just dismisses her. And she's like, "Why would you believe me? Why would you believe me?" Which that's scary, and that plays out throughout the whole thing when Rose is experiencing the same stuff. That is scary that people won't actually believe you that things actually going wrong.
Yeah, so
Um,
when Rose, well, after she deals with the patient and it
mhm.
transfers across to her, like I
With
really,
trauma
yeah,
is the
I
important thing.
yeah, I really enjoyed her portrayal in terms of it was like popping up and only she could see it, and the
Hmm.
whole like descent into madness in terms of
Hmm.
her putting the cat in the like who's
Yeah,
the cat into as a
that
present
scene
to
was
the
actually hilarious.
it was nuts. Like there was so much going on. Like she was looking for this cat, and then all of a sudden the cat is the birthday present to this
There was
kid's
just
birthday
enough
party.
time for you to almost forget about the cat.
Yeah,
Like
and
it
then
was two scenes ago, sort of thing, and then all of a sudden you see this kid open his present and he pulls out this dead cat. But it felt like a comedy. I laughed. I laughed
you laughed
hard
at
at
it
that scene.
at the
Yeah,
cat.
it was dumb.
I don't know. I liked it, and then obviously you have your smiling person who was
Yeah.
haunting Rose, and like
Mm-hmm.
I I know I don't like ghosts, and if you've ever been
Yep.
in my streams, you've heard me talk about ghosts, especially recently. Ghosts
Yeah.
freak me out. Just you've got no chance against ghosts. I know they probably can't sort of hurt you. They can move
Mm-hmm.
stuff
Mm-hmm.
and do ghostly things, but they ghosts terrify me. So having something that's just there staring at you is terrifying for me. I hate it.
Yeah,
Like
I get it.
if you're gonna pop up and you're gonna be a ghost and you're gonna smile at me creepily,
Mm-hmm.
kind of just being creepy. Like, yep, you've
Yeah,
got
my
me.
biggest fear as a kid as well was definitely seeing something in the hallway. That was scarier than the idea of a murderer coming into the house, which was way more likely.
Yeah. So a ghost is way more scarier. I'm glad everyone agrees. So
Yeah.
you
Well, at
can't tell it.
least two
Well,
out of two right here.
no, people can't tell us otherwise. So we're correct. So sucked
Ghosts are
in.
scary.
Yeah,
Hmm.
ghosts are. So I found that actually quite, well, scary. Like,
Mm.
I've seen a lot of,
Unsettling.
yeah, that's a good word for it.
Mm.
I've seen a lot of horror movies, and this was the first one in a while that I was like, got a few goosebumps like popping up, and
Wow.
that, yeah, I don't like ghosts. Like the last time
Okay.
a movie has scared me or given me that feeling was
Hmm.
Paranormal Activity, the part where the things are moving downstairs and there's a door slamming, and then they get pulled out of bed. That
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
traumatized me for a week, and I was an
Yeah.
adult when I saw it, and I still got
Yeah.
scared.
It's pretty
So
spooky.
yeah, like this, just having that thing popping up and following you around, smiling at you,
Hmm.
and it was like
Hmm.
tormenting and just provoking and popping
Yeah.
up. Like I thought
I did like that.
that was really cool how it wasn't there all the time and it was
Yeah.
used just for that big shocking
Hmm.
moments
Hmm. He's
where
almost toying with her. Like you didn't really learn much about this entity, but it feels very much like she's just being manipulated and toyed with and fucked with the whole time. It almost seemed to revel in whenever she was, trying to get help and talking to people. Um, it almost seemed to enjoy the fact that she couldn't get people to believe her, and I like that. That within itself is scary. That there is this thing destroying your life, but no one around you believes you. And that's a psychological horror that got me a bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they did reasonably well, but where it just lost its bundle for me is when he actually where she no, what was she doing? She was doing her investigation, trying to find out about the entity.
Uh huh.
And then
Yep.
there was that one person who had
Who
survived
survived?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
where she went
Yep.
and spoke
Yep.
to him. And then
Mm-hmm.
that was a downfall for me. So
Okay.
once I knew the whole they need to commit a what was it, a hideous crime or a murder or
Yeah. It
something
seems
to
to
be
be a
able to,
trauma. It
yeah,
transfers via trauma. So as long as you kill someone, the rule was if you kill someone in front of somebody else, the trauma that the witness will experience will be able to transfer the demon out of you, and you won't have to die. And
yeah,
the only person ever survived did that and killed someone and is in jail. And he was like, he admitted it straight up. It's like, yeah, it was me. I did it, but he did it to escape this demon,
yeah.
whatever it is.
That I hated that part. I wanted it to be I
Interesting.
just I wanted it to be really creepy and I wanted it to have like that
Feel
reveal.
doom.
Yeah, like obviously you're in a big lot of trouble here in terms of how you're going to get
Mm-hmm.
out of it. And then this, all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden you just fed all the information. Like it just felt too easy for her to find out what was happening.
Okay. But she didn't end up utilizing that anyway, so it didn't matter.
No, but like
It's not like it was a loophole that she took advantage of and
yeah, but
gave her on the story.
I don't know, it felt like she got the information she needed and it was just like
Mm-hmm.
served to her on a platter. Like it doesn't happen that easily normally,
Okay, let
especially
me ask you a question. I'm going to jump to the end, talk about the end real quick, and then I'm going to ask you a question based on the end and see whatever. So in the end, she realizes that this entity needs trauma to transfer. So she goes, well, if there's no witnesses, then there's no one to see me die, and therefore it can't transfer. Even if I do die, this thing won't get any further. So she takes herself out to a cabin in the woods, which was where she grew up, or where her mum, something to do with her mum. Yes, I
yeah,
can't remember.
it was some like shared holiday sort of place that they used
Yeah,
to go. It was
yeah.
like
So she
yeah,
goes out there and she summons it out of her or something like
yeah.
I can't
She
remember what
I
happened
don't know. She kind of
there.
goes into herself and is trying to deal
Hmm.
with her trauma, which then obviously provokes the demon, and then
Hmm. Hmm.
then we have the final confrontation because the demon's like, "No, you can't do this." Not in so many
Yeah,
words because I don't think it talks; it just screeches.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll just say
Yeah,
a few things. There's actually
yeah,
one really cool line. But yeah, so she deals with this demon. Then we see her leave, and then we see her go to her place of work, and there was this creepy guy who has been there 1,000 times, has some mental health issues, but never been violent or whatever. She goes and sees him, and we see her stab this guy to death, and we think that she has done this to transfer, the witness, whatever, escape, blah blah blah. Then we find out that that didn't happen. We go back to a moment when she was in the house, and she's back dealing with the entity in the house again. Her then ex-boyfriend, who's the only person who believes her, do you remember that character's name?
No,
Joel?
I don't. He didn't really play that much of a pivotal role.
It was Joel. He came to like help her, and then the entity kills her. The entity goes inside of him, and we assume the cycle continues. And my question is, did you like that little twist? And if you did, I guess, that sort of that what you're talking about before, that you didn't think it was necessary, the whole thing with the guy in prison, blah blah blah. We wouldn't have been able to have that ending or that twist, reversal, whatever you want to call it, if they didn't set that up, because then her murdering the guy would have meant nothing. We wouldn't have had that double reveal. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. Once I knew about the entity, then I would have liked the information to come later on, because I felt like it
Okay.
was just over halfway is when she actually visited
Okay.
the guy. Like it felt like the pacing was off. Like we just had all that
Mm-hmm.
obviously establishment, then we had the atmosphere, the creepiness,
Mm-hmm.
and then she was just like, I need to work out what this is. And then they're like, here's all the information you need. Which took
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
the suspense of the actual like demon, the smiling demon of how it passes on. And I
But
was
then the
like,
suspense becomes: is she going to kill someone or is she going to die?
yeah, but that's for me, that's not horror. Like the horror was her being tormented by this demon. It wasn't like I have a demon in me. I need to either kill someone or
Mm.
not, or like kill myself. Where it took
But you don't
away
think
from that.
there'd be a moral torment if you had to kill someone over
Yeah,
killing yourself?
that's not the horror I like though. I
Okay.
don't like that part, and that's why
Okay.
I was disappointed with how they went at the end. I wanted like some big, my favorite horror movies obviously like not Friday the 13th, but Nightmare on Elm Street, where they have that final
Mm-hmm.
confrontation with the
Mm-hmm.
thing that's been tormenting them all this time, and there's like something that happens in terms of when they're confronting Freddy Krueger in like the nightmare realm or the sleep
Like
realm.
trap him or whatever.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
okay.
because I feel like they're in danger. Where just killing someone and
Mm,
passing it on, I didn't really feel, I guess, scared
agree.
or yeah. But
Yeah.
that's because you
I
like
understand what
art
you're saying,
house.
but I disagree. Yeah, it's not art house. It's nothing to do with art house. It's to do with writing. I just
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't like when every horror film has to end with an action scene at the end. There has to be a final conflict. You have to defeat the bad guy. I kind of like when the bad guy is almost a separate entity. You can't even interact with it. I didn't like the way this ended with having the big, as much as the mother looked really cool and she was very intimidating and very menacing. I actually really liked the end. uh, I still don't think it needed to end with an action scene. It could have just ended with, like, we ended the way it did, where he comes in thinking he's saving her, but he's actually dooming them all. And that would have been fine. They didn't need to have the interaction with the mum, with the burning her, and, the CGI looked terrible with the person on fire and the house
yeah,
on
didn't it?
fire. And uh, not every horror film needs to end with a action scene.
Like action. Bring it.
I know you do.
Bring me the confrontation at
I
the end. Like
know, yeah, I
if
feel I'm
I'm
talking
going
to.
yeah, like if I'm going to establish or like at least engage with my time, I'm going to feel for the
Mm-hmm.
character, and I want that character to overcome their like troubles, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what I want, and that's why I like horror films where they have to confront the big bad guy.
And
It's
then
I don't
defeat
know,
it, and then
yeah,
okay,
I don't know
yeah,
in
why you
terms
like
of
Stranger Things?
yeah, in terms of the like human trope, in terms of we always
Mm-hmm.
need to confront what's sort of challenging us, and the human needs to, overcome the challenges. Like if you want to go back to a throwback to My Hero, yeah, plus Ultra,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I still think there's a huge moral dilemma having to decide between murdering somebody else or killing yourself. or
Not really.
isolating herself like she did.
Like
What do you mean not really? If you were told tomorrow you have
if
to
I
kill someone by midnight or you will die,
and I
would that
would
not
and I
fuck
would
up your
stop.
day?
Yeah, but I save the people I love? Would I stop this demon from killing other people? That's not even a moral question. Would you sacrifice yourself, or would you be like, "No, I need to kill someone just to save my own skin"? Like, is my life
Yeah.
more than all those others?
It's exactly the moral dilemma. Is my
No,
life
this
worth more than somebody else's?
that's not even a question. Like, if I'm able to stop it, and I'm able to control this demon and not pass it on, I would go isolate or do what you need to.
Well, she did try to do that.
That's without
Hmm.
a that's not even a moral question.
Yeah, but that was something she discovered later, which I as soon as I found out that it was past through trauma, I'm like, well, she can just go isolate herself and it's not going to matter. And then there was a big like, oh my god, I can just isolate myself, and that annoyed me a little bit because it was super obvious. I'm sure everyone had that thought first, like an hour before she did.
Yeah.
But at that point, she hadn't had that thought. Her thought was just either kill someone or kill myself. It wasn't about it, she in her mind it had to pass on, and that's what that guy in jail was saying. Like it had to pass on. Somebody had to die. I didn't want it to be me.
Well, if you're gonna stop it, like logically, where's
But
it
no,
gonna
but
go?
it wasn't about stopping it. I'm telling you that. That's what it's not about her. At that point, it wasn't about stopping it. She hadn't figured that out till the end. At that point, the
Why
dilemma
aren't
was
you?
just
Why are you asking that question at the start? If I've got a demon in me, how do I stop this demon?
yeah, by killing somebody else.
That's not stopping it. That's passing it on.
Yes, but she
That's
hadn't. I
that's
know
that's not stopping it at
you're
all.
actually arguing one of my actual biggest annoyance with this movie is that all the characters are dumb. None of the decisions make any sense, and they're all just plot conveniences. Like the fact that she didn't think about how to actually stop the passing on before she was trying to do all these other weird things and trying to figure out all this random bullshit that didn't matter. Like any logical person, like you and me, right now, are like, why doesn't she just isolate? Why doesn't she just not pass it on?
Yeah,
And that
I
was
guess
writing.
that'd be a short film, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why they shouldn't make. I didn't feel like this was too long though. I didn't. I often say that movies are too long. This didn't feel like it dragged. I
Oh
think it
no,
was
they wrapped up real
pacing was
quick.
weird, but there was never like a moment of I'm done with this. Maybe like midway through Act Two, but it still was interesting enough to find out the layers of the information.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got annoyed at like you said that the smiles look creepy, and sure, but every smile looked drastically different. And
that's because they're different
it's
people.
almost like they just said to the actors, we want you to look with a creepy smile, and they'll give no more direction than that. Because the doctor, the psychologist for the psychologist, Madeline, whatever her name was, um, she had the weirdest smile. It looks so strange. And then the way that the girl at the beginning smiled as well was completely different. I know that it's just meant to be a creepy smile, but I feel like if you a bit more direction than that, make them look the same because they're meant to be the same entity being possessing all of them. Make the smile look the same.
No, but it never would. Like everyone's structural features are different. Like there's no way that you'd be able to make that unless you did computer generated, which then would have made.
There's a difference between a big grin and some of them were like looking down, almost like a Kubrick stare, and some of them had like really wide eyes, but her eyes were really squinted. There's like there's different ways you can smile. Of
Well,
course there are.
go. You do your best smile then, and then we can put it on the
Okay,
poster.
this is gonna be saying
Yeah.
everyone except for YouTube, right? Okay,
No,
smile, ha, smile, ha,
yeah, but
smile,
what would
ha.
be your creepiest one? What would if you were the yeah?
Yes, but the
See,
direction shouldn't just be give me a creepy smile.
no,
I'm saying
all
because
right.
they were being possessed by the same thing, the smile. I just think it would have been a nice detail. That's all.
No, give me three creepy smiles. What's your best three creepy ones? I'm gonna give you no directions, and then
This
I'll.
is not helpful for anybody.
It is for me. It is. So what do
All
you
right,
got though?
give me a direction. Sorry, everyone who's not on YouTube.
A
Go. What do
direction?
you want me to do?
No, I want you to do one without direction. Your creepiest smile without direction. Right now, I want
How's
you
that?
to focus more like the Grinch. So you know how the Grinch does it.
I can't.
See,
I don't know how to do that.
see.
What do you mean? See, this
Where are
isn't
you gonna
arguing any
go?
point.
It is.
What?
Means that you can't go anywhere with your smile. Like you don't look
I just
anything
gave
like
you some
no
examples.
from the poster.
Smile with
Like
your eyes open. Smile with your eyes closed. Smile with a bigger
you
grin.
didn't.
Smile with your the top of your smile or lower. Smile with more cheek, less cheek, more teeth, less teeth. Some people smile without teeth. Some people smile with teeth. There are so many different ways to smile.
So what did you want? You wanted them
I
all
just
to be
wanted one
unique
consistent way. That's
to
all I wanted.
smile. No, it makes it
Yes.
creepy if it passes the person to person, and each
It would have been
person's going
creepier
to be.
if every smile felt like the same piercing, evil smile. If every smile felt the same, it would have been scarier.
Nah, nah, I disagree. Because
You're just
every person,
disagreeing to fucking stir me up.
I'm not like every person's going to have that different creepiness to them.
Yes, but they're not every person. They're one person.
They're not. They're a person that possessed by a demon, which is then controlling their face. So their face is going to look different. So it doesn't matter. They're going to be different.
Fine, sure. Let's just agree with you.
Yes, right. All right, what would you give it then? And smile
uh,
while you do it.
I'm smiling. Um, like a 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5. That's probably generous, but maybe closer to a 2.
Okay. Yeah. I was sitting on like a 3, like I was going to recommend it to people until they served me up all the information I wanted at the halfway point, and then I was like, well, no, cool, you are down to a 2, which is really
Yeah.
disappointing because I was really excited for it. Like the first half of the film, loved the atmosphere, I loved the creepiness of the people smiling, and I like the different smiles.
I don't understand how we can sit here disagreeing with the film on so many levels, and then I can say a 2, and you're like, yeah, it's a 2.
It is.
Like, I said it's bad, and you're like, oh no, but this and this and this and this is really good. Oh, but it's a 2. But I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
No.
I don't understand. Do you like it or not?
I as I said before, I liked the first half of the film. I really enjoyed
Okay.
the introduction and the creepiness of the
Well, I'm going
demon.
lower. It's a 1.5. 1.
You just want to
Because I
be
liked it
different.
less than you did, obviously.
It's just, I wanted it to be that whole creepiness the whole way through, where it just lost the plot at the end. Well, not even the end,
Yeah.
but second half, which is
No, the whole thing felt recycled and overdone, and I was never bored, but I never felt entertained either.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, there you go. So we here we are. We're both
Yep.
smiling still. So
We're still smiling.
all right, let's move on. So we
Okay.
can stay smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
here we
we
go.
also watched a movie called, I use movie very loosely, a movie called When Mr. Oh, Jesus. It's called
No,
Mr. Harrigan's Phone.
it sounds like
The
one of those
the
books. The books like
synopsis.
Mr. Strong, and it
Yeah,
feels like
yeah,
an
yeah. The
offshoot of
Mr.
those
Men
ones.
books. Yeah. Uh, I wish it was. When Mr. Harrigan dies, Craig, the teen who befriended and did odd jobs for him, puts his smartphone in his pocket before burial. When the lonely youth sends his dead friend a message, he is shocked to get a return text. What the fuck? He doesn't get a return text.
No,
Oh,
no,
yes, he does. He does. He gets the CCCW. Okay, yeah, sorry, he does, but like the next day or whatever.
yeah.
Um, oh, fuck. This movie. I
This
don't
movie
even
was
know where to
shit.
start. It
It
was
was.
so bad.
It sounds cool. Like it was. What was it? It was adapted from Stephen King.
A
Like
Stephen King novella, like a short story. It was adapted from a short story. I mean, so was Shawshank Redemption, but it was adapted from a short story and became this.
so,
Fuck,
this
so shit.
this was put into the drama, horror, and mystery. There was no horror to
None
it.
of the above.
The only it was a little bit mysterious in terms of who old mate Harrigan. Oh, I hate his name.
Harrigan.
No,
Yeah,
hate it.
yeah.
Don't care. I'm just gonna call him old mate. So when
Old mate.
old mate, he's like, trying to teach this boy lessons, which is a weird interaction. The whole
Yeah, he was super pedophile at the beginning. He reminded me so much of the old guy from Family Guy.
yeah,
He
he
sees
was,
this boy reading at mass and he's like, I need this guy to read me stories. And comes and asks his dad, can your boy come around 3 times a week and read me books?
and the dad was like, no.
Yeah, dad's like, sure, no worries. When I'm out of the house anyway. My wife just died. Like, take him.
It's
Fuck.
so odd. But
Please continue.
oh my god, the whole thing was weird. Like there was no part of this was horror. There was a bit of a coming
Part of
of
this was a movie.
age. a coming of age story of him like going, I guess, starting high school. I'm
Oh,
assuming that's what it was.
but the only part that's coming of age is we see him age. We see him
Yeah,
go from a kid to a teenager. That's not coming of age. There was nothing there about
mate.
puberty and relationships and trying to navigate schools. I'm not having a go at you, having a go at the movie. I'm so livid about this fucking movie.
I mean, they very vaguely touched on it. Like the girl best friend was like a love interest. Like she was interested in him, but he wasn't interested in her. I didn't know if this was a advert for iPhones. Like the whole thing
Right?
was like, hey, look at my iPhone. I got an iPhone, and the
I do
whole
wonder what money changed hands for that
well,
all those
for that.
iPhones and Samsung mentions.
How was the trope where it was like, all the cool kids, they have an iPhone.
Yeah.
He's like,
And in 2009, I
yeah,
mean, not far from the truth,
yeah, but
but
they all just like sat together and playing on their iPhones, which
yeah.
like you may have done that for a day or a week, but like if
Mhm.
that was your whole identity, that
Yeah.
would that
There was
that would
this
never happen. And the bully,
this really weird
my God,
no,
what's
the iPhone real quick. There was this real weird almost like hidden agenda anti-phone thing. Mr. Harrigan goes on this huge rant at one point about like data mining and making advertisements and blah 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 and paywalls and whatever. And it's this huge like people are like, oh, that's a really smart thing to say, but it's not. He's just pointing out the things that are obvious in 2022. He's pointing out 2009. It's not smart. It's boring fucking writing.
and then he was like addicted to the stock market, and he was like, "Oh, I like this."
Was this real time? And that was my favorite scene. Actually, was the old man discovering because Donald Sutherland he's a beautiful man. Him discovering the phone and that whimsical little moment between him and the kid, Craig, was the best moment of the whole fucking movie. That was kind of fun.
Nope. I enjoyed when he put his ear to the grave and he came up with dirt on his face. I was like, oh, I would have thought they were like, oh, like I would have thought the dirt would not be there. It's
Okay,
I was impressed by it.
you like that continuity?
Yeah.
You're impressed.
I mean
Out of all the things to impress you,
the rest of it was
it's the
shit house.
continuity.
So
Yeah, the rest. That's the thing. You've got to find good moments, and that was probably one of the better.
that was it. And when he was like almost going to throw his phone, but doesn't throw his phone at the end, like I was in
Oh, I
suspense
know.
of like, what's he going to do? And then he just puts
What
it in his pocket.
suspense? Ah,
I was wondering if he was going to throw it into the lake.
there was no story. So to quickly just what I read out about him dying and him burying his phone, that happens halfway through the movie. It's an hour and 40. At the 50-minute mark, Mr. Harrigan dies. The,
Yeah.
the first half of the movie is Act One. It's all just interactions between Harrigan and Craig.
Oh, and the
And then
bully.
Harrigan dies. And the bully. And then Harrigan dies. And then there's a little bit of spook. And then we have the bully. You mentioned the bully before. Talk about the bully real quick. That's is not freaking.
He looks so old.
Yeah, it was weird.
He
Like
was
40.
so old. Like, couldn't you get someone at least in the age bracket?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know how old this kid is.
It reminded me of the Adam Sandler bully, O'Doyle. Like O'Doyle was way too old to be playing that part.
O'Doyle.
It was the O'Doyle rules.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
O'Doyle rules.
Like
Oh,
that's
he's not that old. He's born in 2003. So he's what,
no,
19?
no, he's
Dude,
not. He's
I
like,
would not have picked he was 19.
is he really?
Yeah.
There's no way he's 19.
He's born January 2nd, 2003.
He looks
Still though, if a 19-year-old looks 40, you still don't cast him. I mean, you wouldn't cast a 30-year-old who looked 19. You wouldn't cast them as a 30-year-old.
Wait, was his
You
name
cast him as a
U-Boat?
19-year-old.
U-Boat in the film?
U-boat.
Yeah. Is that
His
Connor William
name
Wright?
was no, his name was Kenny Yankovic.
Who am I looking at?
U-boat was his mate. U-boat was one of his friends. U-boat, remember how they walk around they do that classic trope where someone who's been at school before takes them on a tour,
Oh
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
these are the cool kids and these are that kids. He's the one taking them on the tour. That's U-boat. Is one of their friends.
I was gonna say.
That whole the whole the whole movie. It it was 100% the worst thing I've watched this year.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like, not to ruin the rating already, but it was so shit
Oh, there
in
it is.
every way.
What's his name? Cyrus Arnold.
Cyrus Arnold is the actor. Yeah,
No, Kenny Yankovic.
yeah. That's
Is
what
he
I'm
re-
saying. Kenny Yankovic
is he
is
related
that's
to
the
Weird Al Yankovic?
well, no, Kenny Yankovic is the character's name.
Ah, I
Cyrus
was,
Arnold's the actor.
yeah, yeah, that's less cool. I don't care anymore.
Less cool.
But yeah, he sucked.
Yeah,
The whole thing with the bully, like it never really led
yeah.
anywhere either. It was
No, he
the
died.
there was that continuity where like when they had the actual fight, was that the dance
Hmm.
where the main guy, what was his name? Kenny, Connor, Craig.
Craig.
That was there.
Yeah,
That was close. I threw every
Craig.
name. Craig. He threw a punch and then he got
Hmm.
wrecked and then was
Totally.
there with his like arms crossed. And then the
Hmm.
people that died had their arms crossed. Like what was that old mate killing him? Like I was so confused. I stopped
Yeah,
caring
that
well
was the
before
thing
this.
when because he got beat up by
The
Kenny.
bully. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when Craig was on the ground, he was in that weird sort of gangly position. So then every body that we saw after that was meant to be in the same position because oh, that's spooky.
Is it spooky because it was old
No, it's
mate?
not spooky.
No, but was it Sutherland or Mr. Harrigan or
It's
whatever?
Harrigan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was that him killing him?
Yes.
It was.
That's the whole thing was that
Yeah,
from the on the grave, Mr. Harrigan
we're
was
still looking
killing
out for
his
him.
enemies.
Ah,
And then he
stop.
even killed what was the end where oh yeah, that guy, there was the teacher. And really quick, again, this film doesn't know how to shoot certain scenes. The scene with Mrs. Hart helping Craig after he got beat up was really sexual. There was so much sexual tension in the way that was filmed and the way that they had so many like really close shots. It's fucking weird. It's a teacher and a student. And it felt like there's so many long pauses. Like in the movie Drive, there's those really long pauses where the characters look at each other and you can see the tension building, and that's really sexual, and it's really well done.
Right.
Whereas this felt the same, but between a teacher and student. And anyway, she
Ah,
died, and that's the climax of the movie. Supposedly, is when Craig goes to the court case of the guy who killed her in a car crash, and he gets off. Well, he gets put in rehab, but whatever. He gets off pretty much scot free because he's rich. So Craig goes home and gets his phone out and was like, "I want this guy dead," like fucking Death Note. And then he dies, and then Craig feels horrible, and then it just ends. There's no there was no build. It didn't build to anything.
uh, it sucked. Like the whole thing was terrible. Let's like the movie. Let's pay homage to the movie and let's give it a rating. Let's just end this review because it's terrible.
Just end it.
We all know it's bad. I give this half a star. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
bad.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really give it any lower. I would give it a quarter
Yeah.
of a star.
Well, my question was, can I give 0 stars? But if
Uh,
I can't, then half a star.
yeah.
Whatever the lowest is, I can give it. This is fucking mess, and it was not even entered so bad. It was fun. It shouldn't even exist.
I think half a star is where
Yeah, sure.
we'll have to call it.
I'm good with that.
So
Fuck this movie.
let's let's move on to something good then.
Yeah,
So
it was.
House of Dragons, Dragon. We have 2 episodes. Let's we'll do it all together because just spoiler
It'd be hard
alert.
not to.
I the episode 8 is much stronger than episode 9, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Episode 8 is the Lord of the Tides. So essentially, we are 6 years later with the Driftmark succession suddenly critical. Rhaenyra attempts to strike a bargain with I'm gonna say this wrong. Rhaenys. Is that right? Rhaenys. And then this episode for me was awesome. I loved the King's portrayal. Like that whole
Yeah,
the King's portrayal was awesome. Like obviously
yeah.
we're getting everyone back into King's Landing, and we're getting that sort of presentation of Rhaenyra's kids with Daemon, and we're getting that interaction. We're seeing how well, I guess decayed the king is. Like he is
Yeah.
not looking good, and
No.
that whole power struggle, like obviously Alicent is sort of like knowing that things are coming to an end and that she has to do some power plays
Yeah.
here and there. And there's what's the second son's name? It is
Amond.
a
I've
Amon.
sent you the list now.
I'm going on the list.
Over the past few days, oh, past few days, literally today, I made a cheat sheet with all the characters' faces and all the characters' names. So, because one of the feedback I got during the week was we do not get the names right well enough, and by now it's getting kind of frustrating. That's what Damo told me.
Whatever.
uh, so
But
I made a cheat sheet. Use it.
all right. So Eamon, we really
Yeah,
get to see his power play in terms of
it's awesome.
he's awesome. He's pretty
Mhm.
much very similar to Damon. Like he does what he
Very.
wants. He's
Yeah.
another rogue prince. He wants
Hmm.
to have power, but
Hmm.
unfortunately, his birthright has not given him power, and it
Hmm.
seems to be like a Game of Thrones kind of thing. Anyone who's not the firstborn is obviously going to want or become,
Yeah.
I guess, power hungry compared to the people that are born first. We get a little bit of
Hmm.
Aegon. So Aegon he's just doing whatever he wants. He knows he's got
Yeah.
power. He can do whatever. Like
No shit.
you can
He
see he's a brat, really.
Yeah,
Just
he reminds me a bit of what Rhaenyra was early, where she's like, I don't want to rule. I'm happy to just, be well off and live
yeah,
this life of luxury.
yeah.
He's
So
the same, but he's a bit more twisted.
yeah, and you can see he's sleeping with whoever he wants. He's just because it
Yeah,
was that scene with the I'm assuming she was a serving girl,
yeah,
and
like a handmaiden, one of
yeah,
Alicent's maidens. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, he's just doing whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the
And he is married to Helena, his sister, by the way.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's what they do.
That's what they
So
do, but it's also like he's a fucking little monster.
in the
And we see in episode 9 that he has bastards, several,
yeah,
in fucking Fight Club,
yeah,
more or
that was
less.
so weird. Where like obviously
Yeah.
he's gone missing,
Hmm.
and the before that like the scene with the king, we're in that hall where Rhaenyra is being challenged with the legitimacy of her children,
Hmm.
where you obviously I know the old
Yeah.
king's like I don't have favorites, but you definitely have favorites. Like Rhaenyra
Hmm.
is your favorite, and he
Yeah.
bursts into the courtroom and just
Hmm.
absolutely the last strength that he has is
Yeah.
defending Rhaenyra. Like that whole scene where he's burst in real slowly, like you can
Hmm.
see he's mustering all his sort of
Hmm.
strength to be able to get to the throne. How cool is it? But just when he's going up the throne and the crown slips
Yeah.
off, that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
an accident.
Oh,
And
really? Okay.
yeah, and Matt Smith just, like they kept filming, he picked it up and placed it back on his head. Like that's by far the
Yeah, that's
best.
powerful as fuck. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
realize. That's
that
amazing.
was a full accident, that scene.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely
real
incredible.
powerful.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah, complete accident, but
Okay.
just one of those happy accidents. That
Yeah,
whole
that had a
power
beautiful
dynamic.
silhouette as
Yeah,
well.
like obviously Damon still has enough respect for his brother,
Hmm.
even though he wants the power of his
Yeah.
brother to be able to, still recognize him in
Yeah.
his last dying
That's
moments
all he's ever
without,
wanted.
without like
We see with Damon,
overthrowing.
even the early days, all he ever wanted was to just be with his brother and for his brother to respect him as an equal and for them to just live their days together. Like he had a lot of love for his brother, always has.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was awesome.
Yeah,
But
really cool.
and then even the end scene of that episode where the king is
Hmm.
obviously at it, having his last breath, like really
Hmm.
powerful, nice, dark, gritty. I got to say,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
show is so dark. Why can't we just have a little bit
yeah.
more lighting?
It is pretty dark.
I just want to be able to see the characters. I know you're setting the tone and the atmosphere, but
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be dark as
I
much.
wonder if they're like because TVs are better, they rely more on TVs being able to do better, and therefore they don't have to light things as well because TVs can compensate, or I don't know.
Maybe, but
Because
for me, it's hard to see at times.
yeah, that's understandable. I can totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to see stuff like that
Hmm.
whole court scene where obviously Rhaenyra is being challenged and the king
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Daemon, like that absolutely brilliant. Like this was such a
Yeah.
great scene, and it
Yeah,
just
I loved when
the scene gives you goosebumps.
yeah, um when Corliss's brother, which is not my cheat sheet, so I don't have his name right now. I apologize. But when Corliss's brother was trying to defend Driftmark and being like, I deserve to have it. I'm like, even though I'm not next in line, I'm the next in blood. And when, he starts to make accusations that um Rhaenyra and Rhaenyra and Laenor's children are not Laenor's. Um, and we start to see him poke, and then you look at Damon and he's like, say it. Like, they're bastards. And then just fucking
Oh, chops him.
schling beheads him. Ah, so good. So cool.
But
I
how
love that.
was you see Eamon's face as well? Because like everyone was like,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a similar like reaction to kind of what Damon had. Like it was like, ooh,
Yeah.
like you can
Yeah, like
see,
satisfied.
yeah,
Bloodlust.
you can see like they're built a little bit different to everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I did
Yeah,
like in that scene as well when Alicent was getting a bit she getting a bit upset. Not upset, but like the fact that she was no longer in power in that scene. Initially she was, and the king came in. Um, we look at Aegon, and he has like a little smirk on his face. Like you can actually see he enjoys his mother struggling, which I liked in that scene.
yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
he, he's going to be a mover and shaker. Like you can see it coming. But
Yeah,
very, very strong episode. Like
definitely,
easily for
definitely.
me, like 4.5 on that episode. Like thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else happened in that episode.
That was the main thing.
Uh,
It was mainly just
oh, we had
building.
the dinner at the end. That was pretty big. The family dinner
Uh
at the end of the.
was it as big as that the court scene though? I felt like the court scene was
Yeah,
just
not as big, but I mean, that will be the last time we see all those characters amicable.
yeah.
I think it's a defining moment. Like, and there was even a moment between Alicent and Rhaenyra where they almost seemed to put the differences aside for an evening. And if it wasn't for the children, they probably would have had a pretty respectful dinner,
Yeah.
or like respectful enough anyway. But then I loved Aemon's speech, and he's saying they're going to grow up big, tall, and strong, and kept saying how strong they're going to grow up, and
Just
it's
kept
just
poking.
like, yeah, he's so. I love that he knows. We said this last time as well, the last episode. This kid knows how to play the Game of Thrones. He knows how to poke people. He knows how to say the right things, but not get himself into trouble, or at least not get himself beheaded. The last person who called them bastards were.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that was a really fun scene, and then having that like conflict break out at the end as well. Yeah, I like that. I really like that scene, and like the king Viserys taking his Phantom of the Opera head off and revealing his like just decayed and rotting face underneath. Um, yeah, really cool. A lot of cool visuals in this episode.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
very good. What would you give
Mm-hmm.
that episode?
Yeah, like a 4.5 was,
Yeah.
was pretty banging. Probably a 4 because I actually think the next one was probably better. But
Whoa, really?
yeah,
Nah. All right. But episode 9, the Green Council. So while Alicent enlists Cole and Aemon to track down Aegon, Otto
mm-hmm.
gathers the great houses of Westeros to affirm their allegiance. So
Yeah,
these sneaky high towers. So
yeah. Let's
obviously,
just start by saying he dead.
yeah, the king's
This is
finally
the
dead.
first episode. The King's dead.
It's been
26 years of reign done.
been a long time coming. Like I thought he was going
Mm-hmm.
to die a few episodes ago, but he's held in.
Same.
Like he's done well. But this is when Alicent sees a moment to strike. She's doing well. Like obviously,
Mm-hmm.
I like when characters you love to hate them. Like I don't know many people that are on Alicent's side. Like I kind of feel a bit sorry for her. Like she was
Yeah,
thrust into this
it's
lifestyle
crumbling.
or this
Mm-hmm.
game where she
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to be there. Like it wasn't a love marriage. It was a
No. She
you
was a
are
pawn in the beginning, and now she became a queen.
yeah, and
It's
now you need to do something to be able to, survive.
yeah.
And she's taking it in terms
Mm-hmm.
of the king whispered to me on his deathbed that he what
Power
he
to her. She thinks that's what happened.
yeah he
Fair.
wanted Aegon to be king.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
But in actual fact, he was talking about Aegon's prophecy, and Rhaenyra had to be on the throne for it. But
yep
in her eyes, when she said, "You have to do this. You have to, save us. Do this. You do the right thing. Whatever." Aegon, blah blah blah. She took it as gospel and started spreading the good word that Viserys on his deathbed wanted Aegon to be king.
only one small problem with that. Aegon is nowhere to be found. Aegon,
Yep.
he's gone AWOL. He's
Mm-hmm.
MIA, complete
Mm-hmm.
missing in action. I
Yep.
I gotta say, I didn't enjoy the tracking down scene. So
No.
when they're off trying to find him, I liked the the display of obviously what Aegon has done. Like obviously the Fight Club, he's
Yeah.
got all these bastards, they're all fighting, and you can see
Mm-hmm.
that he's obviously a very corrupted man because he doesn't care. He
Yep.
just wants to do what he wants to do. He has all
Exactly
this
right.
power.
Yeah.
Like that was
Mm-hmm.
a good way to establish it. The rest of it, when they finally find him, I don't care for it. Like they could have left that out.
Yeah, there was probably too long of them looking. I got kind of bored of every. You're right, actually. There were too many scenes of them looking and searching. I
Yeah,
didn't
like
mind the conflict at the end between. I don't know if it was the names are Eric and Eric, the twins. So
yeah,
I don't know if it was Eric or Eric that had to fight Sir Christian Cole at the end, but I like that fight, and then Aemon having to jump onto Aegon, and the fact that one of the Eric or Eric brothers uh had second thoughts, and he went. There was that one um, who went and freed Rhaenys later.
yeah,
Rhaenys.
yeah. That was a cool scene. I like the little
Mm-hmm.
turn, but I don't quite understand. Like, obviously, I think it's due to the time skip. Obviously, Cole
Mm-hmm.
is a little bit hurt in terms of, well, Rhaenyra not accepting for him to run away with her, and all of a sudden
Mm-hmm.
he's now like, I hate her. No, she's dead. I'll do anything for Alicent. Like
Yeah,
that dynamic was never really explained. It was just seen as obviously
yeah.
Cole is now obviously Team Green, and away he goes. Like
Mm-hmm.
him slamming that dude's head
Oh
on the
yeah.
table. Like he's just all of a sudden he's like bang. Like
I
he's
I always thought that was an accident at first, but then he was like, "Yeah, so
yeah,
what?" Like he meant it.
he's done a full 180. Like was is I'm not sure if there was meant to be more scenes in terms of explaining why Cole has like really
Mm.
hates Rhaenyra, or is it just like first
Yeah,
love?
I heard a
I'm
line
done
in the
with you,
book.
or what?
Yeah, it's like that pretty much. Like I heard a line one of the YouTube videos I watched about like recapping early episodes or whatever. And they talked about a line in the book that basically said when he loved her and opened his soul to her and was rejected, he went straight from love to hatred. And that, he now just wants nothing but the worst for her because, he was completely vulnerable and rejected. Um,
It's a big
so
jump though.
supposedly it's meant to be like a deep, deep hatred. But you're right. Like we didn't actually see that building. We didn't see that. We saw him doing a lot of things against her, but I think I said it on an actual podcast. It felt like a bitter ex boyfriend rather
Yeah.
than a deep, sinister hatred.
Yep. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
don't know. I feel like the time skips obviously missed that little bit. What I
yeah.
did also like in that sort of, I guess, the council room was the Knights Guard, who they were like, "That's it.
Harold Westerling.
Yeah." They were like, "You need to
Mm-hmm.
go to Dragon's Keep and march in there and attack,
Yeah,
really." And he's
yeah,
like, "Well, you don't have a king." I'm
yeah.
like,
I
"I'm not
served the
doing it."
king. So
But
yeah, took his
was
cloak
was
off.
was he the one that got hung? I'm pretty.
No,
No, it wasn't.
no. The one that was hung was one of the lords who was bending the knee. The
Uh,
last one to bend his knee to Aemond, I guess. Yeah. Or so,
yeah.
sorry, to Aemond, to Aegon.
Right, yeah. So I
Mm,
don't know. I was a little bit confused because it wasn't a close up or anything. I was like, was that him
yeah.
or not? So they just,
Remember when the scene where Rhaenyra had her second child, I think,
hmm
um, Luke,
yep,
and she, got out of the maiden chamber and walked all the way to see Alicent.
hmm
On that walk, one guy's like, "Congratulations on the new baby." That was him.
ah, that's a weird
They
throwback.
have because he would have, yeah, I don't know. It was weird because I don't know. Anyway, um, he was actually going to go tell her. So, they killed him justly, but
Okay,
not fairly.
yeah. I mean, they're doing
Mm.
whatever they need to. Really, it's like a
Yeah.
mad free for all. Which you're feeling the obviously the stress and the tension. Like I feel like Allison is doing
Yeah.
really well to show obviously the chaos that she's dealing with.
Mm-hmm. And I like
Um,
that Allison is like almost the voice of reason. Like everyone's like, no, we got to kill them. And if they're alive, they're a threat. And
yep.
Allison's like, no, I'm sure we could talk it out. We could figure it out. But ultimately, Allison's wrong. If
Mm.
they're alive, they are a threat, 100%.
Yeah, well, she's kind of even like Otto pointed out to her that is she thinking as like the friend or the
Yes.
queen,
Yes.
which would be hard, and you can
Mm-hmm.
see Rhaenyra also has that train of thought. Like
Yeah.
there was that sort of can we sort of be friends as well as
Yeah.
accepting
That's why I
it.
think that dinner scene was so important because the dinner
Uh,
scene reaffirmed a lot of those relationships.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I also with the when they finally do get Aegon and the
Yeah.
Alicent's like bring him to me, but Otto's also like bring him to me. I like the
Yeah.
little power struggle. Obviously,
Yeah.
Otto is like, no, you need to put Rhaenyra to the sword, and
Mm-hmm.
Alicent doesn't want that as well. So a nice little another power struggle, which
Yeah.
is
I agree.
happening, which is going.
Interesting that like they both want the same thing, really, but they want to
Different.
go about it different ways. And
Yep.
it wasn't so much an argument over who wins, it was whoever controls Aegon controls this decision.
Yep.
So they
Also,
just rushed to get him first.
how creepy is the other strong bloke? What's his name? When I
Oh,
find him.
old mate foot fetish.
Yeah,
Laris.
Lars Strong, mate.
Laris.
What
Yeah,
was
man.
as soon as the feet came up, I'm like, no, they're not going there, are they?
No. It's
Surely.
become such a meme in the past two
Ah,
days as well. Yeah, dude. That scene. Because it built well. Like it was obvious that it was a routine for them. And it felt like when she was like, oh, she's rolled her eyes and got her feet out, and he just like starts talking. And then he starts rubbing his dick, and I'm like, okay. And then she starts going at it,
yeah.
and they had that like shallow focus where they're looking at her rolling her eyes, facing other direction, and there's him in the background going at it.
Oh,
Really cool scene. I liked it a lot.
yeah, it's just whatever. It's,
I think
I
it's good.
guess,
It shows like not
but
everyone
his
wants big grand rewards.
yeah, but his also what is it? Middle name or preferred name is Clubfoot. Like, is that why he's
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
that's why?
I
Yeah,
guess that's part of it is that he has a foot fetish because his feet are,
yeah.
he can't walk on one of them.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool. I'll make Clubfoot. I think it's
Laris is becoming one of my favorite characters. He's just
yeah, he's
always
interesting.
there, always around. He's to me a bit like
Ooh.
um what was the bald eunuch name? My God, in Game of Thrones.
The Lord of the Birds or whatever. Varus?
Yeah,
Varus?
Whispers. Varys. Yeah, yeah. Man, it's been a long time since I watched that. Not really. I watched it early this year. A bit like him. Like he loves to just pick up information and start to like understand the world around him and sort of trades in secrets. And I really like characters like that. I think that's really really fun, and he's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, foot fetish and all. He's a really interesting character.
And then obviously our big climactic end to
Mm-hmm.
the episode where
Great scene.
I really liked how Aegon is coming in, like the ceremony and everything that's
Yeah,
happening. And he's
yeah.
kind of like, I don't really want it. Like, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
really fast. But once he gets
Yeah,
there and he sees the crowd like cheering, who obviously are
yeah. People
forced
like
there,
him.
and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And he's like full
Yeah.
into it. And then bang, dragon
Mm-hmm.
flies in.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting a dragon. Like,
No, and I
uh,
wasn't expecting the reveal to be her. I was like, is it Damon? Is it Rhaenyra? Who's it going to
That's
be? Yeah,
yeah,
and for it to be Rhaenys,
yeah.
it's
I'm
yeah.
there was one aerial shot that was too long, but like I can forgive it, like a just
Mm,
while the dust settled and stuff. But
sure.
I really feel like she probably like she could have burnt it, could have ended
Yeah,
that entire line,
yeah. She
but
would
was
have
like,
the entire Dance the Dragons gone.
yep,
Yeah.
but instead just sort of stared at her like as a warning, and then
Why not?
and
Why
then
do you
then
think she
flew
didn't?
off. I don't. I don't know. That's what I was trying to work out. Like, I still don't really know. Like, is
Yeah.
this meant to just be she's like, I've had enough of this war, or like
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had
Because she
enough.
might just she might
I've
fuck it and bail now.
and like I've lost enough. It's now I'm
Yeah.
sort of picking my side. I think Rhaenyra is is it.
Well, yeah, they're dressing her in a lot of black.
Yeah.
I do wonder if that's
I'm assuming it is
reminiscent,
because it's going to be the war
reflective.
of the green and the black. But it's like you could
Yeah.
have ended this now if you're not going to side with her. Why not just end it? Like you've got a
Mm-hmm.
dragon, no one's going to stop you there. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess then we're not going to have the rest of our
Just
story play
could have
out.
just burnt them all.
Yep.
I really liked to just flip back to earlier in that scene how slow but very naturally Aegon warmed to the idea and how he's on stage and is thrusting his sword and because he's all his life he's been this brat um and I think he's never cared what people think. He does what he wants, but then in this moment you see him being like, oh wow, people like me, I'm actually treated kind of nicely. um and yeah, like the people always wanted a king. There's even that scene where um a few episodes ago when Rhaenyra and Daemon are flitting around King's Landing and they see the play and everyone's like booing the idea of having a queen. The people in general wanted Aegon to be king. The people also like Alicent because she is a devoted what are they called? They follow the seven. She's a devoted religious woman. And the people respect that and like that. So to see, I loved how he warmed to the idea,
Yeah.
but then that to be shot in the ass by the entire ground caving in. Um, and did you hear Helena's her little prophecy earlier, where she's like, "There's a beast beneath the boards." I'm assuming she was referring to this dragon bursting out during this scene, unless there's
Yeah.
something else coming.
I know. I read some article and it said that doesn't actually happen. That was just added in to add some mystery to the episode. But
Oh,
like,
her prediction.
yeah, like it worked.
Yeah,
Like so,
she made a prediction about Aemon riding a dragon. He have to lose an eye or something. He'll
yeah,
have to ride with one eye closed, something like that. But yeah,
yeah. I enjoyed it. Well, it was good. Very, very
mm-hmm.
good. I'm
Yeah, it was a cool
very,
episode.
very interested to see how they're going to go with next episode. Like, where are they going to go?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to have this massive war already kicking off, or
Yeah,
is that going to be season two? So,
yeah, I'm curious too because we that entire episode we did not see at all in any shape, way, or fashion Rhaenyra or Daemon
yep.
or
And I
their
think
children or
I think that's where they're
anything.
going next episode. Like, it
Yeah,
has to be a big
and I
thing.
like that.
Yeah.
It's like I always refer back to the Battle of Blackwater, but it's like the Battle of Blackwater. That entire episode was based in King's Landing. I like when we can pause all the interactions and really focus heavily on one strong, important moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. I also like that Alicent was kept in the dark and that she had no idea about the whole plan and whatnot, and that was revealed on her, and she's like, "What the fuck?" Like, pissed.
Yep. That was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Um. Yeah. To me, there's a four. I mean, it's about the same to me. About four. Is it last episode? I reckon.
It
Probably yeah, four,
was
four and a half.
okay. It was less for me. It was only 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Just the
Okay.
whole finding Aegon scene, just bored.
Yeah,
Too long.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time it flipped back to one of those two characters, like, oh, they still haven't found him. Okay,
Yep.
let's keep doing this.
Yep. All right.
Anyway,
So next week we have a big lineup for you. Luckiest Girl Alive on Netflix is giving many people are saying it needs a warning on there. It's pretty intense apparently.
mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
Terrifier 2, which is actually getting people to walk out of cinemas due to how gruesome it is. So I'm very interested
Yeah.
to see. We haven't seen Terrifier 1, but apparently you don't need to. And also
Sure.
House of the Dragons, episode 10, the
Season finale.
season
Woo.
finale. We're finally there. Then when the following episode 11, we'll have a new segment for you, but we'll tell you about that next week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but get
Episode
very,
10 will
very
be a new
tuned.
format. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wait,
Yep.
is that right? We're in
No,
this is 9,
no,
then
yeah,
10. Oh yeah, you're right.
yeah,
11 will be
yeah,
a new format. I
yeah,
take it back. I'm wrong.
yeah.
It's a rare thing, but
I
here it
can,
is.
whatever. I can count. So, all right, that is an
Yeah.
action-packed episode.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Good
Harrigan's
fun.
phone. Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Don't do it. Apparently, Netflix had a bigger 2.4 million or something or other big subscribers, so people are coming back to Netflix, and then they
Oh, okay.
produce it with Harrigan's phone. So, well,
No,
Netflix,
this
what are you
shouldn't have
doing?
deserved any money.
No.
This would have had a way bigger budget than like Fall and was 1,000 times worse.
Yep. Yep. It
This is
was
so
terrible.
bad. Yeah.
But remembering that you could be doing anything that whatever you're doing,
Anything.
just remember
Yeah.
movie talks. You know,
Totally.
just random strangers. If you want to make the day better, be like, hey,
Hmm.
check out a new movie
You should
podcast.
watch
Or you
movie
want to ruin
talks.
their day, be like, hey, I know this
You
podcast
should
that
watch movie talks.
you should watch because one guy likes art house and the other one likes action.
Sure thing.
He hates it.
Anyone who does like art house will be like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about because I don't. This is not art house.
That's what makes it
Yeah,
funniest.
sure
But
thing.
you know what to do. Make sure you tell your friends, your
Tell
acquaintances,
you goddamn
everyone you see.
friends.
Tell them all. Tell your
Woo.
friends.
Love yous.